I'm Jade Remelkind, and today I have an announcement. I don't know if it's a big announcement just yet. It's an announcement because I haven't been able to leave my house in 2 months, as many of you can relate. And so I decided, just in my free time, I started working on sort of a mock-up video game about cats. Sort of inspired by Warriors, but a little more like, a little less fantasy, a little more like survival based. And I remember, like, wait a minute, I know how to use like RPG Maker. I can make this a game, and so I decided to give it a shot. And I don't have the best track record in actually finishing video games that I start, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna give this a shot, and I really hope I can do it. And I decided I would show off the little bit of sort of test gameplay I have done so far. So, I am not changing too much about like RPG Maker's default system, because I just feel like if it's not broken, why fix it? Uh, RPGs work, and I've seen too many games, too many indie games that are trying to be like new and different, that do some bizarre things in an attempt to be new and different, and they end up making things that are tedious to play. And I've decided, well, turn-based combat is tried and true, so I'm gonna stick with stuff like that. But, you know, to keep things somewhat fresh, because otherwise what's the point, I have added some fun little details. And so, right now I have this sort of battle system for the game, roughly, like, done out. I'm still missing some features, but, I have enough to show, I think. This is sort of like a proof of... would this count as a proof of concept? It's just like a proof of, look, this is what it's gonna be, and I am physically capable of doing it, maybe. So I'm gonna show you guys what I've got so far today. And, so the battle system is turn-based. However, I kind of like the idea of it being more of an SRPG, sort of like the Fire Emblem games and stuff, with almost like a game board sort of style. Just a little more like overworld involvement. And I was thinking, like, how do I mix those two things together in a way that doesn't suck? And I had this idea of you controlling multiple parties fighting against sort of multiple troops of enemies. And, so, as in, like, the sort of, like, Persona games, before every battle, your group sort of, like, gathers together to just sort out their tactics for a minute, and you can choose who comes with you in the main party. The main character, her name is Rain. This is not what she looks like. I should clarify right here. This is all default RPG Maker stuff. All of these graphics, these trees, the grass, the cats themselves, the windows, the cat graphics here, the font, everything is default. I'm gonna make it look much better than this. I just wanted to test the sort of gameplay parts before I started working on art. All of the characters aren't gonna be the same black and white cat, I promise. I have a license to Asaprite, the really good spriting program, burning a hole in my hard drive, and I'm going to use it to make a nice looking game. So this is all placeholder. I should have mentioned that earlier. But yeah, so you can see here, Rain, our main character, she is always the leader of the main party, which is the one leading the charge, the one you start off playing in every battle, and probably gonna be like your strongest. I mean, you can put whoever you want on any team besides Rain. She's always in the first team. But I imagine most people probably put their strongest cats on that team. And what you do is before a battle, and all these like default characters are they are characters in the game, except for one who's kind of like a placeholder. This is Hayes, one of the main characters. I'll bring him with us. Clover is the main character. I'll bring her with us. And Moth, I'll bring her with us. And then, because the maximum party amount is 4. Right now I haven't implemented a check to make sure you don't overfill your party. I'm going to do that. It's on my to-do list. Right, I do have a check so that, like, if I were to walk over to Hayes and put him on the second party, it would remove him from our party, so you can't have 2 Hayes on different teams. But I don't have a check just yet to see if you're overfilling the party. It's on my to-do list. I know how to do it, it's just I haven't done it yet. So we're gonna put Robin on the other team. Mitama is the placeholder character. I do like the name though, it reminds me of the Station Master cat in Japan. But Mitama, go with the others, and Tempest, go with the others. Alright, and you see they're all in my party, the ones I picked for myself, and we can't switch parties yet because the command is only used during battle. And let's go into battle. As you can see, I just set up like a little mini battle here, these chickens representing enemies. So how battles in this game will work is, once you've picked out who goes into which party and such, you will go into battle, and there will be various sort of troops of enemies that you can take down one by one, and once you get either all of them or a certain amount of them or some obstacles cleared, it'll vary from battle to battle, hopefully. There will be a boss character, generally in the most important spot, like right here, who you can take out then. But for now, I just put down some chickens. I just thought it'd be funny. Oh, and also, as in any good RPG, you might have noticed, we have classes. The classes are kind of limited because if you think about it, like you can't have wizards and thieves and stuff. Well, you could have a thief, but they're cats. There is no magic in this universe. Everything is meant to be somewhat realistic. There are a few things that are kind of exaggerated, like Hayes, for example, is missing a leg and has like a scrap metal prosthetic that was just kind of like it's not even like a prosthetic, it's like a peg leg. And I'm like, no cat can build a peg leg. But it's also like technically possible. It's just like it just would never happen. And so, but I thought it was cool. So rule of cool it's in, but more or less it is a realistic setting. It's exaggerated realism. That's a good word. So all the classes are based on things I think cats could do. So we got Rain. Her class is unique because main characters tend to have unique classes. She's a wanderer. It's meant to be a sort of jack of all trades class. So however you choose to play, you can play the game. And Hayes is a fighter. Also, these classes combined with the characters, this is all tentative. I just wanted to show off all the classes I'd created so far. There might potentially be more than the ones I show, but so far these are the classes I have. We have the fighter, which is just a mixed, like, attacker, can take a couple hits, can deal some damage, is kind of fast. Like the another like jack of all trades sort of type, but more sort of like offensive, whereas a wanderer may have some like support-based skills. Got Clover the Hunter. Hunters are sort of like fighters, but they can take a few less hits, but deal like more damage. They are like speedy and they hit pretty hard, but they cannot take very many hits. Runners are similar, however they're much faster than hunters. They're extremely fast, and but they don't deal much damage, except they have skills they can use that are multi-hit skills, so, and other sort of gimmicky things. So even though their like attack stat might not be very high, you can take advantage of their high speed and their more kind of gimmicky skills to make use of them. And now, I'll show you the other classes. We'll switch the party real quick. As you can see, whoops, stayed in the same party. As you can see, I'm just taking control of the other party. In this one, we have, as you see, so I think I'm so funny, I have Robin as the Strategist. Now, Strategist, I think I might change the name of this class. I just couldn't think of anything better at the time. If you thought the Runner was gimmicky, the Strategist is very gimmicky. Like, their damage output is, like, middling. It's not bad. It's a little bit better than the Runner. Potentially. It might be around the same as the Runner. I'm still working on balancing everything. But they have a lot of skills that do a lot of weird things. Another name I was kind of considering for the strategist class was like trickster. I'm just trying to think, like, being a trickster is just how cats are, so like how do I make that into a special class? Like, I just don't know what to call it just yet. But yeah, it's essentially this is the gimmick class. Like, you get all sorts of fun skills that can do a lot of different things. So even though your normal damage output might not be very good, you can still do a lot. Now, Mitama here, the placeholder character, is a healer. Now, healers are special because they can't do much damage. They don't take hits super well. Like, they don't knock over with like a puff of wind, but they also like are a little squishy. And like they're like battle-wise, they're not the most useful. However, healing is pretty hard to come by in this game. I want to make healing like you can't heal very easily because I think that's realistic for feral animals. They don't heal very easily. There's only like 2, maybe 3 healers in this game. And healing skills are hard to come by. And so that makes the healers, like, sure, they're kind of squishy, but they're very important. You will get items you can use for healing in this game. However, only the healers can use them. There's skills, instead of taking up, like, skill points or rage it is in this system. I'll explain rage later. It uses up items. In between battles, you'll have free reign of whatever territory you're on at that point in the story, where you can gather items such as food and herbs for medicine. And Mitama here, his skills would require those items to use, and it would heal, but that, like, no other character can use them. It's not like Tempest can shove a paw full of leaves in his mouth and heal himself. No, it has to be Mitama, because they don't know how to apply some of these medicines, only the healers do. So healing is meant to be kind of a difficult thing in this game, but that makes the characters that can heal very important. Then last here, so far, I have the Brute class. The Brute class are the slow, tanky, bulky types. They deal a lot of damage, they take a lot of damage, but they don't move super fast. And they've got like the most straightforward skills of just like, this is a stronger hit, this is an even stronger hit, and stuff like that. So it's a very simple class, but, you know, useful, because every RPG party needs a damage sponge. These classes are set in stone for each character, because they're meant to, like, reflect who that character is. Like, for example, a healer, the healers in the story are all, like, wise older cats that have been trained to do this. And then, like, Robin is, like, this, like, sharp, clever, speedy cat that knows how to, like, get away with things and sneak around and get into trouble and get out of trouble. And meanwhile, Tempest is a big, like, Maine Coon mix, and so that's why he's the Brute class. And you can't just change these around. Like, you can't make Tempest into a runner and suddenly he's light on his feet. No, he's not. He's a big dude. It's just not gonna happen. Same thing with, like, sure, Robin's smart, but he doesn't know a damn thing about herbs, so you can't just make him a healer. So these classes are set in stone for each character. However, you will have a large pool of characters to choose from, so technically you could probably fill up a team with Brutes if you wanted to. The Tempest is not the only one. Tempest may not even be one. I think he will, but remember, these classes are not set in stone. These are just random characters I took from my plans as for use in this test. But yeah, there may be more classes. Those are the ones I have so far. I'm going to do my best to make them all balanced. Sort of, they all have their own specialties, and they're all useful in their own ways. Of course, there's probably going to be some that are better than others, because I'm no genius, but still. But anyways, now I want to explain the rage system for skills. As you might have noticed, there's no, like, MP, because there's no magic. Here, I'll show you in battle. There's no MP bar, there's only the RG bar, the rage bar. Essentially, and I'll also look at those placeholder graphics. Ah, they're gorgeous. So essentially, the rage bar, instead of being a bar that starts full and depletes as you use skills. As you can see, there's a little bit rage in each one. Essentially, how it starts is by dealing and taking damage, rage is built up. As you can see, it's going up for Robin, Mitama, and Tempest. So they're all doing the same amount of damage right now because I haven't really adjusted stats for each class and character yet. But, I also haven't made any skills yet, so I can't show you guys any rage skills, but that means during the battle, as you take and deal damage, you'll be able to build up rage for skills, and that will make, like, for the bulky characters, that means you want to get hit, because that means you can bust out your best attacks. Meanwhile, for the speedier characters, gives them an advantage, because that means they can deal hits before taking too many hits, and build up that rage, so they can use their attacks. Now let's finish off this bat. I don't know what the RPG Maker devs think a bat looks like. As you see, we have this side view battle system, and I do plan to keep that because I like the way it looks. And the animated enemies and stuff. Let's switch to our other party. And so the idea is, because healing is hard to come by, because only, like, you need the items, and only some characters can use the items, and stuff like that, that's supposed to be the main sort of advantage to having multiple parties. Because sure, I could just storm through each map with the same 4 characters and not even touch my other parties, but that's not a great idea, because they're going to slowly, even if it's just chip damage, they're going to slowly take damage, it's going to be hard to get that health back, and eventually you're going to take on the big baddie, who I don't have on this map, but once all these chickens were gone, then you would fight, like, the main boss of the map, or maybe, like, you'd start the next phase, or it'll vary, maybe. I don't know. It's a lot I don't know yet, but, it would make more sense to sort of spread out the effort across the parties you have, so it's not just one party doing all the work and taking the most damage. Alright, now let's finish up this battle here. This game is not meant to be, like, obscenely hard. There is no permadeath, like in a Fire Emblem game. If the character dies, it is going to be because of the story, not because you forgot to heal them or sent someone into battle who was lower on health than you thought. It's gonna, like, if anyone dies, it's the story. So if somebody dies in battle, they are just RPG dead, and they'll be back. They'll get better. While I'm guilty of this, of like in RPGs where you can sort of make your own party, there's more characters than you can bring into one fight. I just train the characters I like and ignore all the rest. So I just have like one party's worth of characters that I like, and everyone else can just whatever. I wouldn't recommend that for this game. Not only will you, like, you could potentially lose characters permanently, it's also just a good idea to have, like, several parties worth of, well, at least, like, 3 parties worth of characters leveled up. Thankfully, I don't plan on making this game super grindy. You'll be able to keep characters, like, caught up level-wise just by diversifying who you use in story battles. Like, the only character you're required to take is Rain. So actually, there might be some maps where you have to take other characters, like, oh, this is a story map involving Haze, so you gotta bring him with you, but for the most part, you can switch out whoever you want. However, for, in-between battles, when you can, like, go gather materials and stuff like that, you can also do, like, mock battles with, like, random wildlife, like go attack a group of foxes or whatever, or, I don't know, some sort of eldritch horror that lives in the sewer, whatever you want to do, to get some XP. So you can grind, and mercifully, outside of story battles, you can heal completely in between battles. So in between grinding, you can heal. So it's just to make grinding a little bit easier, because nobody really likes grinding in video games, so I'm going to make that My goal is to make grinding not super necessary, and if it is ever necessary, make it as painless as possible. Alright, well now, just to finish off this video, let's take out these 2 more chickens. Also, if you want to follow updates to this game, I'll be posting them to my YouTube channel, and to my Twitter. And, right now I don't have like a dev blog or, like a Discord or anything, because this is still just kind of something I'm doing in my free time. I want to finish it, I intend to finish it, I may or may not actually finish it. But right now I'm having a lot of fun working on it, and I feel pretty passionately about this project since it's been like knocking around in my brain for really a long time now, even though I only started fleshing it out while locked in my house. Let's switch parties. I really would... crap. I really would like to finish this. So, if you want to see updates, stick around my YouTube channel. I'll post updates and also my usual content, which is, you know, irregular art-related content. And on Twitter, Grimalkind, I'll be posting updates there every so often. You know, like, just if you're interested in this, leave a nice comment. It'll help a lot with motivation. Or leave a critical comment, like, am I doing something super wrong here? I know for sure I have to be, because this is such an early sort of like rough draft of what everything's gonna be. So if you have any feedback, at me on Twitter, post a comment. Just if it is criticism, be nice. I promise I'm reasonable. I'm not gonna go off on you for criticizing my beautiful default RPG Maker asset work of art. So just come chat with me if you've got any feedback. So, we've got all the chickens. So that's all for now. Hopefully I'll have more updates in the future. Maybe I'll actually be able to show you what these characters look like, because they're not black and white cats. Hayes is. Not all of them are. And, I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.